Hello, DevOps friends. How is everyone? I'm back from holidays and I'm happy to be back. Not only because temperatures in Ireland are much lower than elsewhere. I was enduring 36, 37 degrees during the last days of my holidays, and that was just too much. I'm pretty happy with the 20 to 25 degrees we get here in Ireland over summer. And yeah, I'm happy to be back. I'm also happy to be back on stream, of course. I haven't done a live stream in ages. And so I thought, well, let's take another... what was I going to say? I'm still... I guess I need to get back into the rhythm of doing a live stream. Let's start again. I thought, yeah, let's start with something rather easy, and that's an office hour. What is an office hour? Well, it's an hour that I spend in the office. No, of course, it's when I go on this stream and answer your questions. DevOps questions, software engineering questions, career questions, and most importantly, system administration, Linux system administration questions, because that's what I'm dealing most with at the moment, preparing my course, Basic Linux System Administration, that I intended to launch in September, but unfortunately, I guess I haven't spread the word enough because so far there haven't been any signups, and so I might postpone the starting date for this cohort course, which means we gather as a group, and it's going to be an instructor-led course led by me, the Monospace mentor, and we'll meet on a video call every week, talking about the course materials of that week and answering questions, doing practice exercises, all kinds of stuff. And I think it's going to be a great way for people to get into Linux system administration. I've been doing this whole thing since 1993, and by thing I mean Linux administration. And since 2001, I've been teaching this as well. In 2001, I got certified as a SUSE certified Linux trainer, and I'm having a lot of fun still teaching this stuff. And it's great to see people acquiring all the knowledge and skills they need as system administrators. And so, yeah, I'm spending a lot of work and time on preparing this course. And even if we don't get it started next week, I guess, we'll eventually do, and I will actually try and do a few of the lessons here on stream as well, just so people see what this whole Linux course is all about, see how I do things, and hopefully that'll actually convince people that it's worth joining the server room, because that's what's necessary. That's the only thing that's necessary. The course itself is free of charge if you are a member of the server room, my community of practice. So if you are interested in that, check it out. The server room is a community that you can join at different levels. It comes with a forum where you can meet great people who are eager to help you grow. It comes with access to our Discord server, access to my courses, and several events that we do. For example, our monthly community hangout, where we go on a live call, not live stream, but live call, and simply talk about whatever we want to talk about. It's just a casual chat. Everyone can bring their own beverage, and we'll shoot the shit for a while, and it's always great fun. And there are other events as well that you can find on my community page. Yeah, the most important thing is the opportunity to learn from and in my courses. And the Basic Linux System Administration course is the first one that I'm going to offer, while I'm working on a more advanced course and several courses for specific topics like varnish, performance tuning for the cache proxy varnish, and things like that. So, but that's not what we're here for. As the scroller here on top says, this is my office hour. So if you'd like to ask a question, please be so kind and go to mspc.sh/office hour, where you can leave your questions. Since I'm streaming on 3 different platforms, it's pretty complicated to field chat for these things, and since I'm using this interactive platform that you'll find at this URL anyway for my courses, I thought, yeah, that's great. Why not use it for my office hour as well? You can simply go there and leave your question. You can even upvote questions posted by other people if you like them, and I'll get them on screen and try my best to answer them. So if you have any questions about Linux system administration, about DevOps, SRE, this whole space, I'm more than happy to answer your questions. And until there are any, I'll simply sit here and have my coffee and maybe have a little chat with you. Wait a second. There should have been a chat message with the URL. Why wasn't that the case? Let me see. If I click this, the panel appears, but the chat post doesn't happen. That is odd. Let me see what I can do about this. What have I broken this time? Let's see. Ah, my Twitch token needs to be renewed. Let me see. Let's try this again. That's better. While we're waiting for questions, I can tell you a little bit about what I did yesterday. Yesterday, I spent quite a while on setting up a KVM VM that runs with 2 displays, which is actually possible. I was quite surprised to see that it's possible. And the plan behind this dual head VM is that I can run an Ubuntu VM in it. Ubuntu because I'd like to use a little piece of software that's called Vicreo Listener. It's basically a TCP networked application that takes commands via the network and triggers keystrokes. And that enables me to run my browser-based course presentation in this VM, simply in a browser, in Firefox. And Vicreo Listener in the background listens, and I can send it cursor left. Oh, interesting, SB4, thanks. Video and audio out of sync. All right. How is that possible? I didn't notice that during my test. And I'm not sure if I can do something about it now. Half a second. That's too much. I can try and twiddle a few dials here and see if it gets better. Let me see. I wonder if it's just Twitch. Or if it's actually my setup here. You know what? Can you do me a favor and go to live.monospacementor.com and see if the same effect happens on my other Owncast live stream. Reloading didn't do it. That points to a problem on my side. But let's see if it's happening on other streaming platforms as well. And while we're debugging this, I'll keep talking, so you can actually tell me if it's happening over on live.monospacementor.com as well. So, the idea was to run my presentation in this Ubuntu VM and have Vicreo Listener take commands to basically issue cursor left and cursor right keystrokes, so I can advance my presentation slides without actually having to activate a window or go into a specific application just to press cursor right and cursor left, because I have so many windows on my screen while I'm doing a course or while I'm doing this live stream as well, that it's really great or it would be really great to have the necessary keys on my Stream Deck, where I can simply press slide left and slide right, and the correct thing happens automatically. It's also out of sync on the website. Okay, that means we have a technical problem here. The problem is I can only reduce my audio correction, which is set to 150 milliseconds at the moment, to 0. And I'm not even sure if that's the right direction. So let's try. I'll set my microphone sync offset from 150 milliseconds to 0. And you let me know if that changes anything. Did this make things worse, or did it make them better? I'm not really sure. Otherwise, yeah, I'd have to do this offline to make recordings and clap and see how video and audio sync up. Any change yet? Maybe something got desynced at the start, and the only way I could fix this is by restarting the stream, which would be a pain. And if you can't see a difference at all, even though I removed the 150 milliseconds, okay, I don't think I can go below 0, can I? Oh, there are negative values as well. Let's try minus 200 milliseconds. And I can do a few claps for you, so we can see how this works. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That's with a sync setting of minus 200. Did that compensate for the 200 milliseconds that you noticed earlier? It's curious, I never had to use negative sync settings before. But hey, something might have changed with Pipewire or anything. No improvement yet. Maybe it takes a bit to take effect. I have no idea, actually. I'll have to debug that after the stream, I guess. Sorry about the technical issues. And thanks for your support in trying to debug this. So yeah, I have minus 200 milliseconds now instead of plus 150. Other than that, connections seem to be okay. 0 dropped frames, so no idea. Sometimes it's like that when, yeah, randomly do a recording and it's completely out of sync, and then you stop and start a new recording and it works. So, but it could as well be that things changed since I last did a stream, and maybe changes in Pipewire or something like that caused a different audio delay, or caused the video capture to be slower or something like that. Refreshing Twitch works if it's a Twitch problem, of course, yeah. Sometimes Twitch gets audio and video streams desynced, and reloading fixes that, but it looks like it's a problem on my side. And so it's going to be the same on all 3 platforms, Twitch, YouTube, and Owncast, since I'm directly streaming to all 3 of them. There's no multiplexing going on in between. I will eventually probably introduce some kind of a multiplexer. And yes, I do use filters for compression and things, but those have been in place forever, and I don't think they introduce any kind of tangible lag. I probably should have paid more attention while I was doing my test recording before the stream, which I always do, but I only paid attention if there was any audio at all, not if the audio was in sync with the video. But anyway, we are already halfway through the office hour, so let's try and answer a few questions for you if you have any, because this is my office hour. And so I'm here to answer your questions about software engineering, best practices, site reliability engineering, and especially Linux system administration. As I said, I'm in the process of launching a course for beginners in Linux system administration. And so that's the main topic I'm dealing with at the moment. NeoQC joining us. Hello! Apparently we have a few issues with video and audio not being in sync. Apologies for that. I'll try and fix those once we've wrapped up for today. It's hard to do that on a live stream. I have not paid attention, I was completely distracted, to the board, but there isn't any question on the board yet. So, as the board says, please submit your questions. VR on Linux? No, I haven't yet. If there's something like a Steam VR that I can use with my Steam Deck, I might be inclined to get one, depending on the price. But so far, I haven't used any VR headsets yet. Just the other day, I talked about them with my son, who is, of course, as a 12-year-old, very interested in VR. But and we were talking about the Apple Vision Pro and its lack of success. I'm not much of a gamer myself. I did spend quite a lot of time playing World of Warcraft with my guild, but that has gone so much downhill so much that I actually left the game a few months ago. I didn't get back into Final Fantasy XIV as well, and instead I'm mostly playing solo, either one of the trucking simulations, European Truck Simulator, or American Truck Simulator, and the most playtime I get is in Minecraft, of all things, because I was able to spawn a world that is really diverse and entertaining, and I've spent lots of time building a great mansion there, building out my mine, building out a barbecue place and all kinds of stuff. Yesterday I spent half an hour simply paving a road to the nearest village. Having this forever world, because it's so nicely laid out. I tried a seed simulator before to see what world would actually be conducive to spending lots of time there. Having a forever world is a great thing, and I did not realize that up until recently. Eduardo, hey, how you doing? And Frackberg, hello, how's it going? Good to have you back. Good to be back. Taking an ad break on Twitch. In the meantime, if you want me to answer any questions about technical stuff, Linux, SRE, software development, all kinds of stuff, post them to mspc.sh/office hour. I'll pick them up there and do my best to answer them. Because that is why I'm here today. This is my office hour. Yeah, World of Warcraft was something that I played for a long time. I mean, I could go into the game and see my playtime, which is many days by now. I started playing World of Warcraft in 2016, I think, when Legion came out. No, I didn't. I started in 2006 with former colleagues at back in my corporate past. Then I stopped playing around the time Wrath of the Lich King came out, shortly after, I think. And then I rejoined the game when Legion came out. And since then I've been playing more or less continuously, but with more and longer breaks over time, because the game, from my perspective, deteriorated a lot. I'm quite the lore nerd, and the stories told by the game just weren't fun anymore and didn't make sense anymore. I basically wasn't able to suspend my disbelief anymore, and yeah, that's why the game, in the end, lost me. The second reason why it lost me is because it became more and more of a grind. Even doing raids with my guild meant that I would have to do all kinds of grinding to maintain my item level, to maintain all kinds of reputations and stuff like that. And with Monospace Mentor, I already have a side job, one that I hope to get paid eventually for, but having World of Warcraft as a side job that I myself am paying for just didn't make sense to me. So yeah, basically I burned out on World of Warcraft. I did start Final Fantasy in between. At first I discounted it as basically as a weeb game. What is it called? The design, the overall the appearance of the game looked strange to me, being just used to World of Warcraft. Maybe it was just the higher fidelity of the graphics and things like that. When I eventually started playing it, it was a lot of fun, and I might actually get back into it. Would I start it again? But at the moment, I just don't have the time, and the occasional self-determined run through Minecraft is more than enough to satisfy my escapism. There's also TV and stuff that I want to do from time to time in the little spare time that's left to me after doing my day job as a CTO and then my side job as the Monospace Mentor, preparing courses and writing course materials and all kinds of stuff. Speaking of course materials, if you go to courses.monospacementor.com, you can actually check out Lindsys 1, my course that I'm going to launch soon, Basic Linux System Administration, and part of the course materials are publicly online there. The full materials are only available to members of the server room, my community, which you can join if you like. My courses are only part of the perks that you can get there. We do have a question on the board, I just noticed. It's a meta question. Interesting, so let's get it here. The question is, what motivated you to start these Q&As? I guess it's the same reason that got me to start Monospace Mentor in the first place, and that is I love sharing my experience. I really love sharing what I know and what I've learned over decades in the industry. I started developing software in 1984 when I got my first home computer. From hour one, I started programming there. And I started using Linux in 1993. And in 2001, I got certified as a SUSE certified Linux trainer. And ever since, I've been doing courses and mentorships and coaching and things like that. And it's so much fun to me to guide people, to help people understand stuff, to see the proverbial light bulb going off over their head. Yeah, that's the overall reason why I'm doing this Monospace Mentor thing. And my office hours, these question and answer rounds, are simply part of that whole thing. I have such a lot of fun. It's also a bit of a challenge, of course, because you never know what questions are coming up. And so being light on your feet and coming up with answers that will actually help people is the thing that I can see myself doing for a few more decades. I'm still practicing all the DevOps stuff and things like that, so I'm learning basically on a daily basis as well, still. So I'm doing my best to not stagnate, and even though I might not be inclined to have on-call duty for another decade, I can very much imagine myself doing courses and mentorships and coaching and these office hours for quite a while into the future. I hope that answers your question. If not, simply post a follow-up question. Now you see how this works. Go to the board, mspc.sh/office hour, post your question, and hopefully I'll be able to come up with a useful answer. Let's finish that coffee as well. That's another thing that I was missing while I was on holidays. Wasn't only the more moderate weather here in Ireland, it's also the coffee. Having my own beans and way I prepare my coffee is just the best. And if you don't have any questions, I have one for you. Have you been on holidays over the summer, or are you still planning to do so? Share in chat. Did you enjoy yourselves? Where did you go? Are there places you'd like to recommend? Since my holidays consisted basically on visiting parents and other relatives, I'm still thinking about taking another real holiday where I get some real time off and self-determined time where I can really do whatever I'd like to do. So your recommendations might actually be inspirational to me. One idea I had, and that I probably need to decide about that over the weekend, is I saw that there is a karate teacher offering a 1 week, something like that, karate retreat on Sardinia, an Italian island, in October. Italy in October might be pretty nice. It's not going to be too hot anymore. And doing a retreat with daily karate classes and meditation and things like that, that's pretty much up my alley. The only downside would be that I'd have to fly Ryanair, which I despise, but that might be a small price to pay. I'll also have to find out. If we want to pursue this more seriously, this karate retreat, I should probably find out what it costs. Let's see. Oh, here we are, in Sardinia. Why isn't there a link? Hmm. It's mentioned on their website, but not linked. That is strange. Are they booked out? Which would be disappointing. It's this looks like it's dropped off the web. Did they cancel that? There is another question on the board, so let's not procrastinate here. Question is, do you like the platform Code Cloud for DevOps beginners? I'll have to look into that, actually. Let me do that. I'm not sure if I've seen it before. So, Code Cloud with double K. What's happening? Oh, browser is updating itself. New extensions. No. Okay, again, Code Cloud. DevOps online training courses. I don't think I've seen it before. Uh-huh. Interesting. Let's take a look at System Administrator. I mean, I can actually get this on screen as well. So, System Administrator Learning Path. I know, yeah, let's say I know nothing. Basics, learn Linux, Linux for beginners. Okay. Linux history, key commands, kernel file types, package management, navigating and running the Linux shell, networking concepts, user accounts, service management, and storage. There's a lot of overlap with my beginner course as well. So if these courses are of good quality, it's going to be interesting what you're going to pay for that, because access to more than 100 courses and labs and stuff is interesting. Yeah, the pricing is pretty moderate. For $15, you get all the standard courses. That's pretty much the pricing level of the more common platforms like Udemy and stuff, right? I guess the main difference to how I do courses is that I focus on instructor-led courses where you have access to an actual human, i.e. me, and of course the other community members who are also taking part in the course or are simply members in the server room. And I think that is just a different learning experience than having to do it self-guided. Because self-guided also means self-motivated, and I guess everyone here knows how that works from time to time. So that might be part of the business model here, that you need to be subscribed for quite a while until you have actually managed to finish a course with all the distractions that life throws in the way. And I think there's better accountability and a more efficient progress in courses where you participate with other humans who can be a kind of accountability buddies and things like that. But yeah, from a price perspective, this looks attractive. I can see that. I can't tell you if it's worth it for DevOps beginners. I have no idea if how high the chance is that you get lost in all the content that they have, and that is not what you're probably looking for. But from a cursory glance, this looks interesting, and I'll definitely also look into it, just to see how different they are from what I'm offering. Shinkun joining us, hello. They said, this is just a theory, but besides games and the Steam store, is it even possible to monetize app through the myriads of package managers in Linux, like similar to the Microsoft Store, the Apple App Store, or the Google Play Store? It definitely is possible. I'm not sure how successful it's going to be at the moment. But there is an app store that just started based on FlatHub. I'm not sure if I have it on my stream VM. Bazaar is installed here. And I haven't looked into the monetization stuff, but yeah, here. So I'm using Bluefin as my operating system, which is derived from Fedora Silverblue. And the Bluefin team has added a new app store here that replaces GNOME apps. And it's called Bazaar. And I'm not sure if it's built in already, but there are definitely plans to offer the opportunity or the possibility to charge money to get sponsorships and things like that. Not sure if I can find something on short notice. How would I find that? Actually, I have no idea. Let's see. Maybe it's not even in there yet. I did read that they want to enable payments in some way and support to make open source development more sustainable. And I fully support that as well. I do sponsor products that I use on an everyday basis by joining a Patreon or using GitHub sponsorships and things like that. I think it's one of the main challenges we have as an open source community at the moment, to make open source development more sustainable. And that includes individuals supporting projects, and it very much includes businesses supporting open source. But because that's definitely a problem. I think the way that projects like Redis and Elastic and similar went about this is the way to go. By simply locking stuff down behind a business license that's not open source anymore. But we need to find ways for enterprises to actually pay important projects like curl with libcurl, which is built into everything nowadays, and similar projects, because it's especially bigger businesses or enterprises are the most egregious freeloaders of them all. Not only do they use open source software for free, which is what all we do, all of us do, that's perfectly legit. But when you then start putting demands on maybe single developers developing something in their spare time, and what's becoming more and more lately is, for example, requesting maintainers to fill out huge software supply chain sheets and stuff like that enterprises need, without even thinking about remunerating people for that work. That skew is getting worse and worse at the moment, and we need to find ways basically to find a more polite phrasing for "fuck you, pay me," so yeah. And Praxeus, hey, how you doing? Says legislated. Yeah, regulation is definitely something that might help as well. Shinkun has their doubts. Yeah, you're right. I mean, those businesses probably will do what they can to not have to pay, but the situation there is going to be that they are going to slaughter the goose that lays golden eggs if we can't find a way to have money go in the right direction. Because, I mean, there are maintainers who are already throwing in the towel, saying, can't do it anymore. Everyone just puts demands on me without offering any kind of support, especially not financial one. And that's not how it's going to work in the long run. Exactly. We all know the XKCD cartoon with the stack building the foundation of large corporations with a single small project way down there holding everything up. That needs to be one of the main topics we have to focus on as the open source community in the coming years. Sustainability. Making it possible for single developers or development teams to actually keep releasing open source, free software without having to fear not being able to feed themselves anymore. And we can't rely solely on companies paying developers in part-time, like, for example, Red Hat does, where they pay their developers to work on open source software. That can only be part of the whole strategy. All right, folks, so this is still my office hour, so if you want to ask a question about Linux, about career, about software development, this kind of stuff, post them to the board, where I can field your questions and put them on screen and answer them. If you don't have any questions, then I will happily take my leave as well. And first of all, debug why we have been having audio problems over the stream with video and audio desynced. Again, apologies if that's still the case. Praxeus sharing that Kali, for example, Kali Linux uses a service model. That's been common for decades now, offering services to basically fund the open source endeavors. Gift.com joining us, asking, do you hire remote developers? If yes, which platform do you use to post? At the moment, we don't hire anyone. I'm sorry. Usually I use my personal network to find people, and I recommend building up this kind of a network yourself if you're looking for a job. Well, Shinkan, I don't think Adobe has any interest in the open source community. They would have shown that by now, and Microsoft is also a different kind of thing. I mean, by acquiring GitHub, they did kind of show interest in the open source development community, but with their recent step of putting GitHub under the leadership of their AI department, lets me think that that interest is very specific and not geared at fostering open source in general. Why Windows is so hated without proper? Well, that's a claim that you'd have to reason yourself, because I don't think it's without proper reasoning. As someone who has been around when Microsoft was the biggest factory of fear, uncertainty, and doubt about Linux, when they realized in the early 2000s that Linux is going to eat their breakfast and lunch and dinner, I can see why people still hate Linux, hate Microsoft for that, and buying GitHub, which has been a mainstay of open source developers, of course, they didn't buy the good graces of the open source community as well. That comes separately, and that needs to be deserved. So look a little bit more into the past and at the frayed relationship between the open source community and Microsoft, and you'll see that some of the hate is well founded. If it's still warranted nowadays, that's a question I can't answer with 100% certainty. I guess some of the reasons for that hate have gone away, but some of them also simply got replaced by other reasons. And pushing AI into everything might be one of these. But that's a huge discussion that we should have in the server room, my community, and especially in our community hangouts, where we simply hop on a video call and have discussions like these. That's a much better place, because the back and forth works a little bit better than here, where I only have the microphone and you can only write in chat. So we'll park this. I just noticed there has been a new question on the board, and yeah, it's an interesting question, so let's get that answered. And while I'm answering this, you can post more questions if you have some, and if by the end of this question, when I have answered it, there aren't any more questions, then we'll wrap things up. Okay, so let me get your question on screen. Hypothetical situation: the backup is failing on the server due to lack of space. What would you do to make sure the backup can be run safely? I mean, the very obvious answer would be free up space. And situations like these happen on my company's hosting platform from time to time, where stuff is running out of space. Thankfully, we have monitoring in place that warns us in advance that disk space is getting low. And in that case, when I get an alert like this, I go on the machine in question, and then I use df to find out which file system actually is running full. And then I go into the mount point of that file system, and then I use the du command to find places where space is used unnecessarily. Because, yeah, you need to basically distinguish between, are we running out of space because there is something going wrong, for example, temporary files piling up because they don't get cleaned up in time, or is it running out of space simply because of legit use? And in that case, we'll probably need to find a different way to resolve the situation. If it's just temporary files, for example, lately, just recently, I had a server where the /run, the temporary /run mount point was running out of space. And that was because GNU-PG, probably in conjunction used with the package management, was creating lots of directories that were kept empty. So maybe there were files in there and those files got cleaned away, probably by our temporary file removal mechanism. That reminds me, I should check this removal mechanism if it also removes empty directories or if it just cleans out files, because all that was left was empty directories going back weeks. And that's why this particular mount point was not running out of space, but running out of inodes, basically file handles in the file system. And all I had to do was use a find command with the -empty option to remove all these empty directories, and that resolved the problem. But that's basically the strategy I use when I go on machines that are running out of space. If I can't resolve the problem that easily by just cleaning up, I need to find a way to either extend storage, and systems like the traditional LVM allow for extending storage. File systems like ZFS, of course, are great for adding storage as well. If you can add more storage hardware, then it's quite easy to add more storage to a particular machine, or maybe we have simply to simply have to replace that machine with another one that has more storage from the get-go. So it really depends on the situation, but in terms of strategy, that's definitely the case. I hop on the machine, use df to find out where space is running low, use du to find out where that space or the inodes are getting used up, and then making a decision: is this something I can fix on a temporary basis, on an ad hoc basis, or is this something where we basically missed a trend and we need to do something to actually provide more space. And then it depends on the hardware setup, if we can provide more space in situ or if we need to actually replace that machine with a bigger one. Hope that answers your question. If you have more questions, you either need to wait for my next office hour, which hopefully is going to be next Friday, or you can join the server room, my community of DevOps practitioners, where you can post a question to the forum, and I'm going to answer it there. In any case, thanks for joining me for today. I'm happy to be back here on stream, and I hope to be back next week as well. So don't forget to follow the stream so you get notified when I'm back online. And until then, take care. All right, so let's see how desynced we are. Let's try 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's more than a second. I think we need to go in the other direction. Let's go back to the 150 milliseconds. 150 milliseconds. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. .500 milliseconds. That's unusually high. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 800 milliseconds? Really? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.